lightweight champion of the world, Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. Presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Israel the Last Stylebender Adesanya!
I walked through a county courthouse square. On a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole is leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat," and I sat down. "Is this the first time you've been to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a little hole in that flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burned the night that Francis Scott Key sat watching it write and say, 'Can you see?' And it got a bad rip in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson tugging at its seams. And it almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but she waved on though. She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, and she got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low a time or two. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. She waved from our ships upon the briny foam, and now they've about quit waving back here at home. In her own good land here, she's been abused. She's been burned, dishonored, denied, and refused. And the government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare and she's wearing thin, but she's in good shape for the shape she's in. 'Cause she's been through the fire before, and I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, we take her down every night, we don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up right. On second thought, I do like to brag, 'cause I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
Don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression: to get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on, the ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
We wake up on a morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark, you've got no...
Obama won the election, and though I wasn't a big supporter, I was watching that night. I just thought, this is great. I mean, everybody's crying, Oprah was crying, And I was even crying. I haven't cried that hard since I found out that there's 23 million unemployed people in this country. This administration hasn't done enough to cure that. So I've got Mr. Obama sitting here, and I just was going to ask him a couple questions. So, Mr. President, how do you handle promises that you made? You don't have it. Okay. Well, I know even some of the people in your own party were very disappointed when you didn't close Gitmo. Oh, what do you mean, shut up? I know you were against the war in Iraq, and that's okay. But you thought the war in Afghanistan was okay. You mentioned something about having a target date for bringing everybody home, and you give that target date. And I think Mr. Romney asked the only sensible question, and he says, "Why are you giving the date out now? Why don't you just bring them home tomorrow morning?" What? What do you want me to tell Romney? I can't tell him to do that. Can't do that to himself. You're crazy. See, I never thought that it was a good idea for attorneys to be president anyway, because I think attorneys are so busy, you know, they're always taught to argue everything and always weigh everything and weigh both sides. And I think it's maybe time, what do you think, for maybe a businessman? How about that? Something that I think is very important is that we own this country. And it's not you owning it and not politicians owning it. Politicians are employees of ours. Whether you're Democrat or whether you're a Republican or whether you're libertarian or whatever, you're the best, and we should not ever forget that. And when somebody does not do the job, we got to let them go. You ought to make my day. All right, I'll start it, you finish it. Go ahead.
White, who has done some job. He's a tough guy. So Dana started UFC. And came to me, do you mind if I use your... Nobody wanted to give him a rinse because they said it's a rough sport, a little rough. And I helped him out a little bit, and I went, and they said, this is the roughest sport I've ever seen, but I began to like it, and he loved it, and nobody's done a better job in sports. And you know, he's a very motivational kind of a guy, what he does. He gets these fighters, and they really go at it, and it's become one of the most successful sports enterprises anywhere at any time. It's doing so well. I'd like to ask Dana just to say a couple of words, because people love to hear from him. Dana,
please. Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hard-working man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelk boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, Bussin' with the boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan.
And these guys just flapping gums at each other any chance they get. The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo. One of the greatest knockouts you'll ever see.
Oh my goodness.
Oscar stiff as a bone.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go! Green trunks for the southpaw, the notorious Conor McGregor. Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr.
Conor relaxed and smiling. Oh!
Just like that!
got the #1 podcast, they say, by like 4 times. Joe Rogan. And a lot of people thought they loved that. It was 3 hours. Oh, it was so terrible because I did it. And I said, Joe, I got a rally of this size waiting for me in a very far away place. I'm going to be very late, like 2.5 hours late. But we kept talking. It went 3 hours and 15 minutes or something. Then when I got up there, it was cold, a little bitter, and everybody waited. Nobody left. And I explained to him, look, Joe is the #1 guy. He kept me late. But I'm doing it because we have to win. And not one person was unhappy. We had a great time. And I said, we're going to devote a lot more time. It was pretty late at night. It was worse than this, okay? I can tell you. But Joe Rogan just announced, and he doesn't do this at all. I don't think he's ever done it. But he just announced that he's giving me his complete and total endorsement to be my friend.
And a lot of people are waking up and realize that have been lifelong Democrats. Guys like Bill Ackman, guys like Chamath,
exactly.
Tulsi Gabbard switched over to the Republicans. Like there's a lot of people who their whole life they've been left wing and they realize like I can't do this anymore.
You and I used to be Democrats.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's nuts.
It's nuts, man. And well, I'll say
thank you so much for buying Twitter. Thank
welcome.
you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm not exaggerating when I think you changed the course of history. I really do. I really think you made a fork in the road. We were headed down a path of censorship and of control of narratives that is unprecedented. Forget about what they were able to do back when they had newspapers and the media under control. What they were doing with social media by suppressing information, and when you had a combined government effort, like what they were doing with the laptop story, where you have 51 former intelligence agents saying that this is Russian disinformation, take it offline, and Twitter complied. If you didn't buy that, we wouldn't have known that. We had no idea.
Exactly. No, it's. I mean, the reason I bought it was because I'm pretty attuned since I was like the most interacted with user on Twitter before the acquisition. So before the acquisition, I had more interactions than like there's some accounts like Obama and whatever had higher follow accounts, but I had the most number of interactions of any account in the system, increasingly uneasy. And obviously, when they deplatformed a sitting president, don't deplatform Trump, that was just insane.
Telling myself I'm going there. Oh, but I know that
what has this experience been like for you, Lou? I've been through so much the last few years. Thank you very much for an incredible career. It's been an honor to call your fights.
This loss is a burden that we both share. Two sinners can atone from a lone prayer. Souls tied in a twine by pride and guilt. There's darkness in the distance from the way that I've been living, but I know I can't resist it. At the same time, you and I drinking poison from the same vine. Oh, I like it and I hate it at the same time. Hiding on of our sins from the daylight, from the daylight, running from the daylight, from the daylight, running from the daylight.
And still, the undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world is
I'm down on my knees again.
How does it make you feel when he trashes black cities? So in 2020, he talked about voting in Fulton County, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit. There was a partial recount of Wisconsin, only in Milwaukee. The comments that he just made about Detroit, basically being a living hell.
Oakland, D.C., Chicago.
Pretty damn ad.
Come on.
Pretty good damn ad y'all dropped out. I actually liked it. Jamel Hill and I talked about it. But again, he's singling out cities where there are significant African Americans, and that's who he's talking about.
Yes.
Black people.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's why we need to protect Title IX, because Title IX protects us women in sports, bathrooms, and locker rooms. Now I want to talk directly to the black community. Donald Trump talks about all his achievements and accomplishments with the black community. And so today I'm going to break it down. First, opportunity zones. Y'all know about opportunity zones, right? Opportunity zones were set in black communities and neighborhoods. It fosters entrepreneurship, meaning that if you start a business in an opportunity zone, you're no longer going to be paying taxes on your capital gains, which means you're not going to be paying taxes on profits. It also fosters economic development, which now you're going to be able to hire people in your community and your resident to be successful. And that's why opportunity zones are successful, and it fosters black entrepreneurship and economic development. Trump's school choice. Our community and our education system is failing in the black community. We have low test scores, low graduation rates. Teachers are not being paid for what they deserve. And we're underfunded. But now with Trump's school choice, you as the parent have the choice to decide which school you want your child to go to. You're no longer restricted to zones, zip codes, districts. This is fostering parent empowerment. It's up to y'all now to decide where your children are going to go. President Trump did record-breaking HBCU funding. 10 years he set for funding to HBCUs. That means that he's committed to black higher education. And with President Trump prison reform, he abolished 3 strikes, you're out for nonviolent criminals. While Joe Biden in 1988 and 1994 crime bill did historically mass incarceration of black men. Trump freed them. That shows he's not a racist, how the left tries to portray him. Now Trump is going to do a mass deportation of illegals. Get out of our country. Cannot deal with another 4 years of famine. We need 4 years of prosperity. So tomorrow, November 5th, we're all going to the polls to re-elect Donald J. Trump as the 47th President of the United States of America! Fight! Fight!
Lost in the moment, going to war with my thoughts. And if you're feeling the pressure's all that I got. So if you think that you're ready, I'm here to tell you you're not. The time is right now. Yeah, you're in over your head. I'm calling lights out until it's over.
sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hit. And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
This here is all about my wife, my kids, the life that I live. Through the night, I was his. It was right what I did. My ups and downs, my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulations, my heart, my walls, my mother, my father. I love them, I hate them. With God, I didn't have them, but I'm glad that he made them. The roaches, the rats, the strays, the cats, the guns, knives, and bats. Every time I scrap, the hustle, the stealing, the robbing, the stealing, the shit, the ceiling, the war, with no feelings, the frustration, the rage, trapped inside a cage, the beatings till the age, I carry the 12 gauge.
Look at me now! Never know!
What they don't know is the bullshit, the drama, the guns, the armor, the city, the farmer, the babies, the mama, the projects, the drugs, the children, the thugs, the tears, the hugs, the love, the slugs, the funerals, the wakes, the churches, the coffins, the heartbroken mothers. It happens too often. The problems, the things we use to solve them. Yonkers, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Harlem, the hurt, the pain, the dirt, the rain, the jerk, the fame, the work, the game, the friends, the foes, the bins, the hoes, the studios, the shows, comes and it goes. The jealous, the envy, the phony, the friendly, the one that gave them the slugs, the one that put them in the snakes, the grass, too long to see the lawnmower sitting right next to the tree.
Everybody, got a thought for you. The value of values. What are values? All right, values are fundamental principles. They're emotional and intellectual guidelines, beliefs that we have for ourselves, beliefs that we can rely on in a pinch when we're lost, frustrated, and confused. Values govern our daily interactions. They define our expectations, not only of ourselves, but usually of what we expect others to do as well. That doesn't always happen. Now, coming up on Dad's Day, I was asking myself, what's a value that I learned as a child that has really helped me become the man I am today and pursuing to be? And the one that I remember the most, it was preached to me by my dad, is this: don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass it. Boy, that never goes out of style, does it? I mean, think about it. If you're gonna do something, if you've chosen to do something, whatever it is, easy, hard, if you give it your all and you don't half-ass it, win, lose, draw, get what you want, don't get what you want, whatever the outcome is, if you don't half-ass it, at least you're not going to have to wonder, oh, would the outcome have been different? What if I did give it my all? And boy, wondering that is what keeps us up at night. So that's a value that stuck with me. Don't half-ass it. I think it's one we can all take in our hip pocket going forward. I also asked a bunch of my friends that same value question. Go to my stories and have a look and a listen to what they said. Appreciate it. Just keep living.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys.
You took care of yourself pretty well.
Yeah, until I got hit with a can of corn.
Did you buy that can of corn?
Yes, I bought the damn can she hit me with.
What you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John Brown come for you?
So we get dispatched to a physical disturbance. While en route, dispatch advises that the victim is bleeding pretty heavily from the back of her head. I made contact with her. She told us that the suspect had hit her with a can of corn. We sit down with the suspect. She's telling us that the victim was calling her several names, being, extremely rude to her.
She called me a piece of liar.
And it was on.
It was on? What's that mean?
That means I got up in her face. And when I did, she grabbed me by the hair. And when she grabbed me by the hair and we went down, I punched her in the mouth.
Did you push her or anything?
No. She pushed me and I went off.
Okay. Did you hit her with a can of corn?
A can of corn.
She said that there was no can of corn involved. And then I asked if there was anybody else that witnessed the altercation. She said, yeah, my boyfriend, Timmy. So step away, talk to him. He tells us, listen, the suspect started everything with the victim, got up in the victim's face and was screaming at her and actually pushed her.
I pulled them apart, they kept getting together, and I was like, fine, y'all just go on with this.
Okay.
Stacy's got a cut across the back of her neck.
What's that from?
And she busted a can of corn across her neck. She threw it and broke.
So she did hit her with a can of corn?
Yes.
Okay.
She's saying different, she's lying.
Yeah, she
right there.
She is. So she pushed her.
She pushed her first.
And so I go outside, make contact with the suspect, and I said, listen, where's the can of corn at? And she's like, okay, I threw it in the woods. We actually locate it, and there's a dent right where it made an impact with the victim's head. Definitely a strange dynamic with the boyfriend having one of his best friends, which is the victim, living with him, and then also having his girlfriend live with him, and the girlfriend and the best friend do not get along.
She was scrubbing the floor, and she's 53 years old. So I grabbed a wire brush and got on the floor with her.
Okay.
And she said, I'm fixing to say something insulting. I said, all right, what? She said, are you only helping me because Timmy's on his way home? And I stood up, and I said, I don't think Timmy doesn't get off till 5:30 or 6. I was trying to help you. But I tell you what, you can do it now, you effing self.
The boyfriend of the suspect did say, he's like, well, she's a redneck, she knows how to fight. I actually asked the victim about it, and she was pretty proud of it. That can of corn, I mean, with it full and it being a pretty strong tin can, it can do some damage. And had she thrown it probably with a little bit more velocity, it probably would have knocked the victim out, rendered her unconscious.
She grabs a can of corn, and she hit me right there. And I saw stars. And then I looked on the floor, there was corn everywhere. I didn't even know I was bleeding.
Yeah, Timmy said that you're a redneck. That's
Yes,
what he said,
I
because
am.
he said you jumped on her like a grown man.
She hit me.
Well, you have every right to defend yourself. That's what I'm saying, but he said you took care of yourself pretty well.
Yeah, until I got hit with a can of corn.
Anytime you have someone that doesn't want to go to jail, like the suspect, she even said she did not want to go to jail, you expect them to do an in-depth written statement. I think hers was only 1 or 2 lines and essentially said, she pushed me and it was on. But she didn't think she was going to go to jail because she thought her boyfriend was going to have the same story as her. I don't think he wants to deal with that drama. I think that they're pretty much done, and the suspect didn't.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. It's gone. Oh, and by the way, the suit, it wasn't cheap. You ought to know, you bought it.
Sit. I want to hear proposition.
Let's wind the clocks back a year. These cops and lawyers wouldn't dare cross any of you. I mean, what happened? Did your balls drop off? You see, a guy like me...
Freak.
A guy like me... Look, listen. I know why you choose to have your little group therapy sessions in broad daylight. I know why you're afraid to go out at night. The Batman. See, Batman has shown Gotham your true colors, unfortunately. Dent, he's just the beginning. And as for the television's so-called plan, Batman has no jurisdiction. He'll find him and make him squeal. I know the squealers when I see them. And...
What do you propose?
It's simple. We kill the Batman.
If it's so simple, why haven't you done it already?
if you're good at something, never do it for free.
How much you want?
Half. You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not. If we don't deal with this now, soon, little Gamble here won't be able to get a nickel for his grandma.
Enough from the clown.
Let's not blow this out of proportion.
You think you could steal from us and just walk away?
Yeah.
I'm putting the word out. 500 grand for this clown dead. $1 million alive, so I can teach him some manners first.
All right, so listen, why don't you give me a call when you want to start taking things a little more seriously? Here's my card.
Drives to the Class B games have been pretty effective. I think three and outs in the first 4 drives tonight. What do you think was the issue there?
I think we've already said what the issue is. Their front seven, we couldn't run the ball effectively. We just didn't play as well tonight. You got to give them a lot of credit for it. So, you know, I'm trying to get our players to listen to me instead of listening to you guys. You know, all that stuff you write about how good we are and all that stuff they hear on ESPN, it's like poison. You know what I mean? It's like taking poison, like rat poison. All right, so I'm asking them, are you going to listen to me or are you going to listen to these guys about how good you are? All right, just like your question right now, we get stopped 3 out of 4 times, like that's a bad thing? We're not going to beat everybody 66-3.
Balls in your court. No more around. You want your life to be better? I can't help you. Lee can't help you. Joe Rogan can't help you. Ari can't help you. God can't fucking help you. Only you can fucking help you. Grab your fucking balls, get a fucking notebook, and write down what the fuck you're gonna do this year. And this is it. You're not gonna have these problems. Fuck the drugs. Fuck the cigarettes. Fuck that dumb bitch. It all starts fucking today, all right? No more fucking excuses.
All week you was work hard. End of the week, if you don't tire it, this is good question. You have to worry about yourself. But this is Saturday. Your 6th day, you work so hard. Of course you're gonna tire it. Tomorrow rest, and Monday we're gonna begin one more training. If you don't want, go back to Dagestan and stay with your mom. She gonna give you every day good breakfast. You don't do nothing. Stay there. But if you come here, don't complain.
We're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. We were never satisfied, never finished. We'll never be retired.
He's hooking! He's hooking! Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow!
Don't waste your time. Do you know that everybody alive gets exactly the same amount of time we get all there is? It's what we do with it that makes the difference. Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing. Make up your mind today, you're going to figure it out.
All this stuff people say, you got to be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do. It's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great. And then you help other people become better from you being the best in the world. So if your family doesn't understand, why are you so daggone crazy? Because I'm trying to be the best I can to give you the best that I am.
Whatever you do, you've got to be a little bit gone to it. You're not all there. You've got to be almost insane to your craft. Not a lot of people can understand that.
My personal question to you is why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you?
My high school English teacher, Mr. Fisk, actually paid attention one time in class. And he said, he had this beautiful quote, and it read, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." And I took that to heart. I believe there's time for resting at the end, but for me, that time is not now. Thank you for this tremendous honor and acknowledging my basketball career, but I'm far from done. My next dream is to be honored one day for inspiring the next generation of athletes to have a dream, sacrifice for it, and never ever rest in the middle.
So you close out the road trip. Tired, 14 days, 13 days, whatever the hell it is. Don't mean nothing. Tired is only in the mind. You tell yourself you're tired, you're gonna be tired. I don't get tired.
But where do you go to? You wake up on a morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark, you've got no cartilage in your knee, you've got shitty shorts, whatever it is that's the issue today.
Keep talking.
You've got these problems, right?
I need you to keep talking about what you were just saying.
It's warm on the couch.
That's
Your
it.
missus says stay in
That's
bed.
it.
It's comfy,
That's
it's
it.
cozy.
That's
You've got
it.
work later on. You had an argument last night. You're slightly
it.
hungover.
Cause I know every motherfucker ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. I know there's so many people that have the ability and
Be a dangerous man. Now, being dangerous is not being a threat. They're two different things. And it's not about going out and lifting weights and getting a bunch of tattoos and wearing leather jackets and walking around with your chest and shoulders up, hulking around saying, I'm dangerous. Very rarely is that a dangerous man. Often the most dangerous man in the room is the quietest man in the room. When we were in Wyoming, I was talking to the neighbor behind me, the manager of Aldous and Ranchland, and across the road he had just a few head of sheep. And he said, I don't recommend you go over and check out the sheep. He has one of those dogs. He said, that dog doesn't know you and he might eat you up protecting those sheep. That dog was dangerous. But that dog did not sit on the hillside up with his head up and his hair flowing in the wind like some kind of lion telling the whole world I'm dangerous. He was just with the sheep, and he was not a danger to the sheep. The lambs and the ewes and everything come around and go in around amongst him and everything, and they were perfectly 100% safe. He's not telling everybody how dangerous he is. In fact, from a distance, if you look down there, he looked like the sheep. But you go down there and he thinks you're trying to harm one of the sheep, it's a different story. He's dangerous. You can't be a fully good man if you're not a dangerous man. To be good is to do good to people, and sometimes doing good to people is protecting those people, protecting those around us. These days I'm a laid-back, mellow, middle-aged fella, and I kind of talk slow and easy, and I move slow and easy. But you say one disrespectful thing to my wife in my presence, I am not only willing, but I am able to inflict great bodily damage, and I will do so. I'm not a danger to those around me. I'm not a danger to the sheep. It's a willingness and a mindset. And then you work on the physical side of it. All right, start losing some weight, start going to the gym, start learning some things. If you are not willing and able, to some degree, to protect the family that you have started, you don't have a right to have a family. Man that knows he's right just keeps on coming. They can't stop you if you know you're right and you just keep on coming. You'll not physically catch a horse until they're caught mentally. You go out in a pasture and that horse is hard to catch until you catch that horse mentally, until that horse decides on its own, well, I'm caught, I give up. You're not going to catch them physically. They're bigger than you are. They're faster than you are. They're stronger than you are. And you're not going to catch them. So I go out there and the horse that I want to catch, I go. Now I come into his shoulders, he moves away, and I stay in the proper position. And I stay there until such a time as he says mentally, oh, this guy caught me. And until he says this guy caught me, I never caught him. Think about that and chew on that. The other thing I do, I also lie to him. I trick him. So I'll push him, and at some point he'll try and look at me. And when he does, I'll stop. I'll take a step back. What am I doing? I'm lying to him. I'm saying if you face me, I won't keep coming and try to catch you. The big foundation of horsemanship is pressure and release. You push pressure, and at the right time, you release that pressure. And that's what the world will do. They'll push you, and they'll push you, and they'll push you. And sometimes you'll just stop and say, well, I can't get away from them, so I'm caught. And when you do that, guess what? You're caught. Guys, you're not caught physically until you say you're caught mentally. As long as you know you're right and keep on coming, they can't stop you. But if you're logical and you're reasonable and you believe that a man ought to work for a living, he ought to make an honest wage for an honest day's work. If you believe that right is right, wrong is wrong, if you believe that everybody's life matters, if you believe that people ought to treat people with respect, they're going to try to catch you. And they're going to try to throw you down, they're going to try to tie you, and they're going to try to put their brand on you. Don't let them. Don't let them. Say, Dwayne, what do I do to keep from being caught? Keep moving, buddy. Keep moving. In your mind, stay.
You figured? Once I take out the leader, which is you, I'll have to contend with one or two enthusiastic wingmen. The last two guys, they always run. Well, you done this before? It's getting late. Remember, you wanted this. It's okay. You're okay. Get up. Oh! Okay. Now we know who's who. Let's get this done. Really?
Thank you to the Academy for this. All 6,000 members. Thank you to the other nominees. All these performances were impeccable, in my opinion. I didn't see a false note anywhere. I want to thank Jean-Marc Vallée, our director. I want to thank Jared Leto, Jennifer Garner, who I worked with daily. There's a few things, about 3 things to my account that I need each day. One of them is something to look up to, another is something to look forward to, and another is someone to chase. Now, first off, I want to thank God, because that's who I look up to. He's graced my life with opportunities that I know are not of my hand or any other human hand. He has shown me that it's a scientific fact that gratitude reciprocates. In the words of the late Charlie Lawton, who said, when you got God, you got a friend, and that friend is you. To my family, that's who and what I look forward to. To my father, who I know is up there right now with a big pot of gumbo. He's got a lemon meringue pie over there. He's probably in his underwear, and he's got a cold can of Miller Lite, and he's dancing right now. To you, Dad, you taught me what it means to be a man. To my mother, who's here tonight, who taught me and my 2 older brothers, demanded that we respect ourselves. And what we in turn learned was then we were better able to respect others. Thank you for that, Mama. To my wife, Camilla, and my kids, Levi, Vita, and Mr. Stone, the courage and significance you give me every day I go out the door is unparalleled. You are the 4 people in my life that I want to make the most proud of me. Thank you. And to my hero, that's who I chase. Now, when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, who's your hero? And I said, I don't know, I got to think about that. Give me a couple of weeks. I come back 2 weeks later. This person comes up and says, who's your hero? I said, I thought about it. You know who it is? I said, it's me in 10 years. So I turned 25 10 years later. That same person comes to me and goes, so are you a hero? And I was like, not even close. No. She said, why? I said, because my hero is me at 35. So you see, every day, every week, every month, and every year of my life, my hero is always 10 years away. I'm never going to be my hero. I'm not going to attain that. I know I'm not. And that's just fine with me because that keeps me with somebody to keep on chasing. So to any of us, whatever those things are, whatever it is we look up to, whatever it is we look forward to, and whoever it is we're chasing, to that I say amen. To that I say, all right. And to that I say, just keep living, huh?
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. And either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're gonna see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is.
Now, what are you gonna do?